Happy Saturday, fellow Norwood HD36 owners. It's an unseasonably warm and nice December day here in Southern Ontario, so we've decided to perform engine maintenance on our HD36 and thought we'd bring you all along for the ride to see what products and parts go into it and how we're going to go about it. So it'll be a bit of a learning experience for us because it's our first go at it, and hopefully it helps you along as well. So this is the Norwood kit that they send out to change oil, air, maybe fuel, spark plugs, whatnot. And then I purchased the oil drain kit as well because I didn't get it when I bought the mill and immediately realized my mistake. So here are the parts and part numbers that are in the kit. I'm not certain that it's any cheaper or easier to purchase these things separately from local parts suppliers, or whether some of them even can be purchased like that. But for anybody that's interested, these are the parts that come in the kit. My personal opinion is that for the time I would spend running around trying to find them all and whatever, the cost differential just isn't worth it to me. So I will likely just purchase this stuff as a kit again when I do my next service, because for me it's not worth it. If anybody does know whether you can find all of these parts individually at like Tractor Supply or something like that, just I guess leave a message in the comments for others. But otherwise, I'm going to carry on with this service. All right, well, I checked the other side. In theory, there's enough room to turn this. In theory, there's enough room to turn this guy. So, try it. Let's try it another time. Oh, bugger, what did I do now, right? Alright. Alright. Okay, so I was aware that this was going to be disastrous. I was kind of hopeful that I could pull the plug and then sneak the new plug in there, but I can't. So we're just going with this ugly mess, and this is why when you're spending $12,000, you invest the whatever it was, $20, $30 in the drain plug, because you know this is just typically not the way I'd want to make an oil change. Okay, so what I've ended up doing is taking this 1/2-inch engine mount bolt out, releasing the power cable, and I'm going to put the drain on this side simply because I can't get a wrench in to tighten it on the other side. I wanted it on that side because the oil filter is over there, so it would sort of be a reminder, have the oil filter changed out and back on, and the plug closed before filling. Attempt number 2. Looks like my GoPro wants to fall over. Are we gonna have a lot of oil on this side? I hope not. Doesn't look too bad. So just for reference sake, you can see this does screw in without undoing the motor, right? But it's hard to see when there's oil pouring out absolutely everywhere. So, there it is installed. All you have to do is pop the end off, put the plastic line on, and then you turn it counterclockwise and then pull it out and it'll start to drain. So we're on to the fuel filter now. This one does look a little bit bigger than that one, so I may have to add a marginal amount of capacity to the amount of oil that I put in. We'll see. Oh dear God. Oh, who tightened that? Seriously. Oh, all right. Okay, that was a miserable, horrible experience. I hope I don't have any trouble with the new one going on, because I won't be very impressed. So, oil filter, miserable experience as well. Let's have a look. What's under door number 2? I think, I don't know if it's pre-filter and filter, but oh yes, it is pre-filter and filter. Judging by what I can see already, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's gonna be a good time to change the air filter. All right, this guy does look a little bit dusty. Oh, yes, definitely. There's some dust there. So we've decided we're going to change some of the scope of our maintenance today because, one, I do not have a spark plug wrench with me. Not sure where it is, but anyway, gonna find one or buy one for the plugs. And the fuel filter is in an ugly spot, and I'm not certain it's something that needs to be changed with every service. And being this is basically it's the first service. I was more worried about getting the oil changed than anything. All right, we've got some Castrol 10W30. So the instructions are to get this saturated in oil. So let's do it. I love getting oil all over my hands because, well, why not? Anyway, it is oily and it feels disgusting. But if it's what we need to do, then we will do it. All right. Let's put it in. There we go. We will have, oh boy. This gives you a good service schedule on the inside. Check oil level, 8 hours. Check and clean it. Air cleaner, 25 hours. Change oil, 100 hours. Change oil filter, 100 hours. Clean cooling fins, 100 hours. So, I'm a tiny bit off on that schedule, but not terribly far. We're there now. And now that we have that oil drain, I will be less apprehensive about oil changes because it won't be so freaky messy. Let's add some oil now. Let's try without. Oh, we can do it. All right. The oil is reading full now, so we're going to run it for a minute to fill up the oil filter and check it again. I gotta say, even though the engine's been sitting recently for a little bit, haven't done much with the Sawmill right recently, that sounds better than it did before I did the oil change. So here's the outcome. I always learn by, well, not always, but you learn by your mistakes, they say. And I made a few doing this. I prepared by buying the stuff, but I can tell you this. If you're buying the HD36 or any other Norwood mill, do yourself a favor and add the few dollars. I think it's less than 30 bucks for the extension tube and oil valve for changing the oil, because this was no fun. The second thing, get a strap wrench for undoing the oil filter, because that sucked too. Hated it, but now I'm better prepared. The next maintenance, the plugs will get changed as well as the fuel filter, which is not getting changed this time out because it's up underneath the gas tank in a god-awful spot. So I also don't have a plug wrench with me, so I can tell you from my experience after having to make a huge catastrophic mess all over the sawmill, ugly it up, oil all over the ground. Thankfully there's sawdust under it. This guy right here that you can get from Norwood, buy it. Buy it, buy it, buy it. It's not worth that. And it was more of a job to put it on with the mill assembled than it would have been to take the engine out of the box, put that on, and then put the motor on. So just do yourself a favor and buy it. Overall, I can see that maintenance on this will not be really that big of a deal now that I'm set up for it, but honestly, I was not prepared. So I'm showing you this video so that you can be prepared, because hindsight, they say, is always 20/20, and now I know. Don't make the same mistakes that I made. Buy the valve before you assemble the mill, put it on before you put oil in the motor, and be prepared when you're doing your maintenance.